And here it comes. I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report. And it is 9:01 a.m. U.S. Pacific Daylight Time here in Los Angeles. I'm pulling up my Twitter stream. It's still considered, I think it's still through Periscope, but it's harder and harder to access through Periscope. Twitter takes over Periscope and makes it inferior. Isn't that always the way? Maybe they'll make it better, who knows? Hake, what music you got for us today? Bad grammar, Colin Barrett, but I shall tell you. It is Monday, by the way, May 3rd, the year of our Lord, 2021. And speaking of our Lord, this is maybe not going to sound exactly like Christian music, but it is Christian music. What cringy music will Hake bring us today? This title is called Scarf Dance by the group called Psalters. Like Psalms? Psalters. Enjoy Scarf Dance, and we'll get on started with the show. Yes, this is Christian music. Even though he's chanting a godly chant. A little too quiet, some say, I don't know, but it's gonna get louder. Psalters, Psalters. What's up, Blazing Hogs? Nice to see you. Blazing Hogs is scarf dancing. Or at least writing about it. Really, James? Asks Marty. What in God's name is this? Asks John Rios. Satanic, says Summer Sunrise. No, it sounds like Indians calling familiar spirits, says Do White. I think these are whites singing, I don't know. Are they white anti-whites? I don't know. Angels from Africa, says K911 Master. I actually do have the lyrics for this. So I can prove to you that it is indeed Christian music. What the guy with the low voice is chanting is saying, Gia Nyame, something like that. Gia Nyame, which means fear none but God. Right? Fear none but God. That's what he's chanting, the guy with the deep voice. Oh no, just no, says Summer Sunrise. Hey, just when I thought your music couldn't get any worse, says Skip McBurney. African drums, says King Warden. Yeah, I know. He has a cool voice, though. You can't deny it. You cannot deny it. I'm scared, says Lorian. Okay, guys. I will be taking your calls, 888-77-JESSE. Oops, I can't say that because it's not Jesse's show. 888-775-3773. This is the music that they play when they want to do a jihad. When they do a jihad. Names says that. He's saying that we may stand when the day of evil comes. It sounds like he slammed his toe in the door. His AD. Man. It's so good. You guys are getting pumped. I can tell. This is powerful, says Gray Fox. Thank you. James Hake never shouts me out, complains Aurora Rose. Covering my ears, hear no evil, Latin Patriot says. So guys, I'm gonna talk about, I have more pocket headlines to read to you. Cringy pocket headlines. Pocket is a liberal aggregator of news promoted by the far left Firefox. Is this Indian Week, Hake? That's absolute death. I have some sleazy black preachers in LA to highlight. No guest today, no guest. You can call in, though. And illegals were caught off the coast. Some drowned. I told you about that in Hake News. Vaccine breakthrough cases. I'll tell you about that. Cop haters. And more. And, of course, your calls. Some of you guys already on hold. Somebody asking for advice. The sleazy FBI spied on President Trump. It's a big mess out there. Well, that about wraps up that song. Hope you all enjoyed it. I swear James is just trolling everyone with his music, says Cheesehead69. Very nice. So guys, it's 9:07 a.m. here. Let's get... Mahmoud music, says John Spartan. Let's get right on with the show!
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
Hey guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La, la, la.
So, how are you all doing? I am fine. I will be getting to your calls. Some people asking advice and some want to weigh in on this madness going on. Let me quickly just show you guys to prove to you that this was not a curse that I was playing upon you guys, even though it sounded chanty. I have the lyrics to this Psalters song, Scarf Dance, for you to show you, just to prove it, Do you see that in the music section? It says, I got this from genius.com or whatever. That's a lyrics website. I searched it. It's spelled G-Y-E. That's the Gia Nyame, N-Y-A-M-E, Nyame. That's what that guy with the deep voice was saying, which is and it says Akan in parentheses. I don't know what that means. And it translates as fear none but God. And the guy with the screechy voice says, my peace I live with you, not as the world lives, not as the world gives. Let us offer each other a sign of peace. Take this scarf, form an unbroken circle, lashed with the rags of united resistance. Resistance, that's a communist word. That we may stand when the day of evil comes, for we fear none but God. See? Hake all about that no bass, says Ray Powers. When I said, hey guys. Big Bum says, today's hey guys sounded just like that song you just played. And he's laughing. No voice. Aramaic, asks Canadian David. I don't know. I don't know. I didn't go that deeply into it. Based? We still hate it, says Summer Sunrise. Anyway. Let me tell you guys, I went to the grocery store on Saturday. That's when I like to go, early in the morning. And I came across this black newspaper that I was told about. Shout out to JLP's PR guy, Ermias. He gave me a solid tip about this black newspaper, local black newspaper called Los Angeles Wave. The largest black newspaper in the West, it says. And they're free over at the cleaners, you know, the cleaners, or the grocery stores, or whatever. Liquor stores, I assume. And headlined on this big front page headline, quote, champion for justice, unquote. This is a champion. I wrote champions of justice, but it actually says champion for justice. And it has pictures of purported black preachers on it. All big. Oops. Any way you can turn that? I don't know how it got rotated like that. Not my fault. I had no way of knowing. What a mess. But anyways, If you're looking at the video feed, just turn your head if you don't have a beta neck. And you can see it says, Champion for Justice. South LA pastors speak out in support of Maxine Waters. This is the recent, late April edition of Wait, the Los Angeles Wave. And I'm like, oh gosh. South LA is short, or it's the rebranding of South Central LA. Oh, awesome. Chris, genius engineer over here, fixed the thing. Thank you, man. Ray Richardson, a contributing writer for Los Angeles Wave, says, reporting from Los Angeles, calling her a champion for justice. A group of South Central Los Angeles pastors gathered April 27th to express support for U.S. Representative Maxine Waters, the sleazy wicked witch of the West with the low IQ, as JLP and President Trump, our real President Trump, call her, rightly. Support for Maxine Waters in a so-called police reform bill because they don't want to reform themselves or the blacks, the out-of-control blacks, including themselves, they themselves, out of control. Introduced in the California legislature by State Senator Stephen Bradford, a Democrat from Gardena. Waters recently drew criticism from Republicans and right-wing media. She got criticism from a lot more than that, but regardless, for her confrontational comments at a protest rally 2 weeks ago in Brooklyn Center, Minnesota, after blah, 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 a 20-year-old black male was shot and killed by a female police officer during a traffic stop when he resisted arrest. It was more than just a traffic stop. Congresswoman Waters, it's actually female Congressman Waters, is a champion for justice, said Shane Scott, who's a so-called pastor at Macedonia Baptist Church in Watts, one of the organizers of the press conference. What she said was right. We're not going to let folks beat up on her. She was just speaking truth to power. Excuse me. She is fake power. She is the establishment. She is the swamp. Part of the swamp. As female Congressman Maxine Waters' friend, we commend her fierce defense of liberty and justice for all. She doesn't support liberty. She doesn't support justice for anyone. She supports riots over and over and over again, by the way. The fake pastors, black pastors, I will add, and they're kind of fat, by the way. If you look at the pictures of these guys, one of them with this huge, like, weird-looking, Bane-looking mask. You know that bad guy Bane, who gets all bulky and strong in the Batman, the animated series, and Batman, one of the Batman movies? Or two of the Batman movies, actually. He was wearing a weirdo-looking mask with, like, rivets in it, looks like, almost. And his preacher's collar. And the guy right next to him is a fat version of Tyler Perry. Well, I don't know. Bishop Craig Warshawn is the guy on the left that you can see his glasses. Of Agape Church, that's Godly Love Church of Los Angeles, speaks out in defense of Maxine Waters, sleazy Maxine Waters, at a press conference. At the right, the Bane-looking guy, the Bane of Los Angeles, Pastor John E. Cager, Cager? C-A-G-E-R, the third of Ward AME Church. AME is African Methodist Episcopalian, something like that. One of those. And there's a whole bunch of them. The pendulum in American history is swinging. This pendulum of the new majority of like-minded people who have come together, we got to come together, have set into motion meaningful change that will last for centuries to come in America if we continue to fight. Fake. We cannot continue to suffer at the hands of those who are sworn to serve and to protect us. Those guys should be thanking the cops for getting the trash off the streets. Honestly. Reverend Dr. Bishop Pastor, says F. Jenny Crosby. Yeah. So that's an example of what JLP is talking about with these fake black preachers, and honestly, the fake white preachers he was criticizing, well, actually fake white Christians in general, scared to talk about it or face them. Don't know what they're going to do. Look away. Man, how weak our culture has become. Pastor Handmaiden. Anyway, that's that. Quickly before I forget, I want to show some funny Pocket headlines. Pocket is that far left aggregator of fake news, and also like I think it's directed towards women. Seems like it. Pocket headlines from May 3rd of 2010. The first one, this one is so weird, is from Vox.com. Vox is a far-left enemy of America outright enemy of America. And then I will get to your calls, guys, real quick. Vox.com has an article that's shared by Pocket, which is a aggregator on the Firefox blank page. When you open up Firefox and don't open up any web page, it has all of these suggestions. Liberal suggestions, brainwashing suggestions, kiss up to evil suggestions, aimed at destruction of whites suggestions, and men, and Christians. Listen to this headline. I help people decide if they want to have kids. What? Here's my advice. Have you ever heard of this before? A parenthood clarity therapist. Parenthood clarity therapist. Explains how how she helps fence sitters make one of the most important decisions of their lives, or whatever. I couldn't even click on this. But, I don't know, maybe that's a guest. Somebody, wouldn't you like to talk to a parenthood clarity therapist, a female one at that, helping fence sitters make the decision? And who are the fence sitters except for the so-called educated people, the whites? And actually, and I say educated people because educated people, including the POCs, have fewer kids too. So-called educated, brainwashed. That's sick. Parenthood clarity. Yikes. And this one is funny. From ProPublica, the climate solution actually adding millions of tons of CO2 into the atmosphere. This is kind of funny to me. I haven't looked into it, but new research shows that California's climate policy created up to 39 million carbon credits that aren't achieving what they wanted it to. Misguided solutions. Isn't that always the way? So typical, but they don't learn because they don't want to learn. You know, California so-called leads the way frequently with regard to these fake policies that are pushed across the country. They attack cops. They tackle climate change, this fake climate change madness, climate hysteria. And they made the problem worse. So typical. So typical. And meanwhile, they're attacking you, the decent people. This is from the New York Slimes. Faith, freedom, fear. They're calling you fearful. Rural America's COVID vaccine skeptics. Speaking of science denial, resistance is widespread in white Republican communities like this one in Appalachia. And this is, of course, the anti-white, anti-American, anti-Christian, communist New York Slimes. And they're accusing us of fear? Well, I mean, there's fear on the right, of course. Fear amongst whites and conservatives. But they're pushing fear. They push fear of the virus. That's why people are getting vaccinated. Many of them, the suckers, who are all too eager to get this vaccine. Not all are suckers. But give me a break. And they're showing a preacher. Shameful. COVID vaccine skeptics. Rural America's COVID vaccine skeptics. And you know, in the South, there's a problem of people being overweight more frequently. Fatter. That's also frequent amongst blacks, too. Overweight. That's why they're disproportionately affected by this, in part by these diseases. Dying from it. There was a 40-something, I remember early on with this so-called pandemic, there was a black cop who he had some issues. You could tell he was a bit overweight. 46 years old, I want to say, and he died, supposedly from this thing. The vaccine is 99% effective. No need for them to obsess over us getting it to protect others. Yeah. I hear that it's actually 96 or 95% effective for the two that it takes 2 doses. And for the Johnson & Johnson one, I think that only takes 1 dose. It's only 2/3 effective, 66%. 66.7% effective. Interesting. But it's not even fully approved. And honestly, can we really trust the government to fully approve it once they do fully approve it? The FDA? Hasn't the FDA been wrong before? Didn't they give us this, what's that thing that they gave us when we were I was in kindergarten, I want to say, when I first was introduced to this. Maybe I was older than that. Bread is the main thing you're supposed to be eating. Bread, grains, cereal, carbohydrates, starch. The food pyramid, yeah. You're supposed to eat mainly bread, and then meat and dairy, and then vegetables and fruit, and then sweets. That's wild. Weird. So anyway, and this is the last one for now. Let's use, this is from Psycho. Psycho. That's really the name of the website, apparently. Psyche.co. Psyche.co. Let's use bold, beautiful hearing aids to celebrate deafness. That's sick. Who else could this be targeted towards but women? And I don't know if that's a male, or a female who is showing off her ear piece thing. But if you're looking at the video, there is this person, POC looking person with this hearing aid thing that's gold colored. And it looks like he or she may have piercings in addition to it. But it's celebrating what happens if we stop stigmatizing disability and see beauty in difference. Beauty in one another's differences is what they're trying to say. The FDA is crooked, says Crazy Mother Dance. I believe you. Odin Sire says the food pyramid is Jewish. Why? Because they built the pyramids, the Egyptian ones? Anyway, disability. Celebrating disability. Make it beautiful. And meanwhile, when you admit to having a mental illness, oh my gosh. One thing I forgot to tell you about in this tease was this CIA promotional video. Oh my gosh. A female was crazy. I'll probably show it to you after I take a call or two. This female CIA person, officer, went crazy, or has this thing called diagnosed anxiety. And I don't know if she's a single mother, but she talks about being a mother to 2 boys. So she must not have been stressed when she had those boys, because usually the women are not stressed if they have a boy. According to some study that was cited on the Jesse Lee Peterson show last week or two. Anyway, the CIA has gone communist, and the communists want more. they're starting to reject the communist buzzwords and go even more extreme because now it's establishment to be communist friendly. This Hispanic woman wearing a T-shirt that has the girl power fist, and then it says "Mija, you are worth it," something like that. Mija means my daughter. What a mess. Anyway, let me get to a call or two. I have Richard in North Carolina. He wants, I don't know, maybe he's going to explain to us, or maybe he'll ask me, how to deal with a black boss. Richard, how are you doing?
What's up? I talked to Daniel for the first time. He's being a boss on the phone today.
Oh, yeah. He is a boss.
So anyhow, my job, the deli job I was telling you about, switched from a nice Japanese guy to a black female. And I'm thinking, oh, God, dear Lord.
Is she a nice black female?
I think she's okay, but you could tell she's overwhelmed. I mean, she's working at a store that's doing twice the amount of production that she's used to. So she's running around with her hair on fire.
Was the Japanese guy dealing with the same workload?
Oh, yeah.
But he was handling it fine. He was used to it.
Yeah, he was stressed, but he wouldn't be running around with his hair on fire, you know?
Right.
Screaming. So, oh, shoot, my phone. Sorry about that. Anyhow, so, you know, I basically have been trying to, you know, help her out, but it's hard, you know? So I've just learned that, you know, what Jesse Lee Peterson says, just sit back and observe.
Yeah, what's hard about it?
Stop thinking about it. You know, I mean, last night, the rotisserie looked like someone took a flamethrower to it.
Oh, it got burned?
Oh, it got scorched. It got scorched.
What a shame. What happens when you do that? You have to cut off the part that gets scorched and use the insides, or just throw it out, or what do you do?
I don't know. We were about to throw it out. It just reminded me of the Saving Private Ryan of the Omaha beach scene when the guy comes up to the pillbox with the flamethrowers and says, "Doyle, do it!" You know, go. You know that, and the bodies are flying out. That was like me and my coworker trying to clean it. You know.
Wow. I haven't seen that movie yet. Still, I remember it came out when I was in high school, and I remember reading. I guess we were getting the Los Angeles Slimes or something, maybe the San Gabriel Valley Tribune at the time. And I remember reading a report about it and how the opening scene was so crazy and gory. Like one guy gets his arm blown off and he goes back and picks up his arm with his other hand and is just wild.
My grandfather saw that. He was on those beaches when his friends were getting blown up around and shot.
And so he watched the movie too?
Yeah, he watched the movie too. He said it was, you know, he was about to pee his pants.
Really?
Because he got thrown right. He had a PTSD attack right there. He started shaking.
Wow, really?
Yes, it was because it was so traumatic.
Yeah.
I mean, just, you know. But anyhow,
it's hard for me to even want to watch a Tom Hanks movie anymore because that guy is so liberal.
It was one of his older movies, so I take it with a grain of salt. And,
yeah.
I mean, just imagine that the guy's accomplishment in his life was talking to a beach ball.
I like that movie, actually.
Yeah, I liked it too. But just to think about it, if you ever want to.
No, it was a volleyball, right? Wilson.
Was it volleyball? No, it was I don't know.
Maybe a soccer ball.
It was a soccer ball. Yeah.
Wilson.
Just imagine that. That was his. That was what he didn't. He win an Academy Award for that.
He might have. I really liked that movie, but that was before I knew that he was into politics, or I was even into politics.
What is up with Hollywood? Why can't they just keep their mouths shut?
They're a bunch of sleazy, brainwashed minions.
My great uncle was in a movie up there, and he said he couldn't wait to get out of Hollywood and go back to Ohio. You know, hang out with his wife. You know,
right?
That.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, it was that bad because they were all backstabbing each other. I mean, he worked with Jerry Lewis, Oliver Black. I can't remember
those old school guys.
Yeah, he was in Funny Bones. If you ever watched the movie, he was the deaf mute.
Okay.
So, but anyhow,
So
Yeah.
so dealing with this black female boss, her hair's on fire and it gets to you.
Well, I let it get to me because I let Satan talk to me.
Yeah.
Say that.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta.
I have to sit back and observe.
Yeah, if you want to keep this job, you gotta be an example. Just calmness.
I know.
Just cut her
and
slack.
Our poor boss and the poor store manager's back there, because we're so short-staffed. So he's seeing everything, and so it's driving him crazy. That.
Yeah, that's
because the whole point is that we're trying to keep him out of there. That. So he doesn't see everything. That.
Yeah. Man.
But anyhow.
So, are you able to handle yourself and calm down and keep a distance?
I can handle myself. I mean, it's they're nice people. It's just when you're trying to adjust to a new situation.
Yeah.
It's just we're all in there. Running into each other while the building's burning in the background.
Yeah. Wild, man.
So
interesting.
It's not the fact that she's really black. I don't care. It's just, but it's still, it's just like, oh my God, that you can tell the difference between a male boss and a female boss for sure.
Yep.
So anyhow, all right, James. I just wanted to see what you think about that. Have you ever dealt with that in your previous jobs? Have you ever had your boss change from a male to a female?
Only spiritually speaking.
Oh, with Holly?
No, I'm not. What in the world?
Holly's your boss?
No, I wasn't talking about that. What the heck? Jeez. No, that's short for Jesus. I can't say that. Pardon me. But no, I was talking about when the male bosses go get all stressed out and frazzled. That's what I was talking about.
And they become female?
Yeah.
And they become female?
Right.
Yeah.
And so I can relate to judging your boss, but you don't want to get into that.
No, I just need to keep my mouth shut and just do my job and get the.
I mean, if you have a word that may be helpful for her, great. But other than that, if you want to keep this job, just be smart.
Yeah,
be
I
wise.
better keep this job.
Are you doing the JLP's silent prayer?
No,
what?
I know suffer and die.
Oh, okay, no wonder.
Suffer and die.
Why not? Out of curiosity.
I just, right now it's between me and this job. I barely have any time now. Before I just had I didn't really feel like doing it. So.
Say that one more time.
I said before. I mean, now I don't really have the time because I get home, I just pass out.
Oh, okay.
And because I usually work the ending shift.
Ah.
So, I mean, we're the ones that deal with all the garbage everyone else decides they leave behind while they stand around going, what are we going to do
And
next?
what about mornings?
Why don't you clean? Mornings? I don't work mornings.
No, I'm talking about...
in the morning time? Oh,
yeah.
I'm trying to do everything else in the day because by the time I get home, I don't have any energy.
Well...
I'm running around dealing with other people's messes. I never understand, why do the opening shift people always leave garbage behind and expect us to clean up with the closing shift? I never understand that.
I don't know, man. You seems like you got your own issues to deal with. Thank you, Richard. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Take care.
Man. I was referring to my previous jobs before I came to Bond. By the way, guys. People speculating. Sheesh. Is sheesh better? Sheesh? I forgot about sheesh. Let me quickly get to Art in Ohio. He wants to talk about Maxine Waters and these so-called pastors in South LA, which is quickly becoming the same as South Central LA. I mean, it is already. But the name is being as corrupted as South Central LA. What's up, Art? How you doing?
What's up with my main man, Hake? He could never be fakey.
Doing fine, thank you. How are you?
And, I'm all right. And I was going to send this song out to the betas. Beta, we can do it. Take your time. Do it right. We can do it, beta. Do it tonight.
Nice.
And then
What's that from?
and then
Originally? I recognize it.
I don't know. We're gonna have to let
Yeah.
Jesse fill it. My Paul Jesse, he ended up filling us in. I forgot who it is. It's from his era though.
Right on.
Okay, now my thing is with the pastors down there in LA, my thing is
Yeah.
this, why y'all up there trying to block and defend Dirty Wig Maxine?
Right.
You know what I mean? Won't you let her get herself together? You see what I'm saying? Because ain't nothing about her godly at all. She,
I know.
was out here bearing false witness
Yep.
against Trump, just like the rest of half of you fake Christians. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
won't you go ahead and leave her alone and back up off and won't you pastors worry about the church that y'all don't start sold out your congregation?
Yeah.
Because in about the next 5 to 6 years, the church is gonna be over with. Ain't nobody gonna be going to these churches, just like nobody gonna be going to these liberal Yankee communist schools over here in America, public and private. And it's like, yeah, you up here trying to defend somebody that's evil. Well, what's that say about you as the pastor?
Yeah. Did you say
know what I'm
Yankee?
saying?
Did you say Yankee communist schools?
Yeah, man.
Interesting.
They a whole bunch of flip flopping Yankee communists, man.
Yeah.
Socialist, liberal, feminist communists. And then my other thing is, I seen that little thing with Joe Biden. And he got up on there, and the only thing he talking about is a whole bunch of, we going to give you more education. Hold up. Don't nobody want no more of this commie education over here, man.
I know.
The American people want you to stop, get your fingers out their back pocket and bring these jobs back over here to America so they can get back to work and making and feeding their families for themselves instead of having to depend on you dang on democratic, socialist, communist politicians. Don't nobody want y'all's little handouts, man.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? And then, then that whole time I'm sitting there watching them up there talking, only thing I seen was a whole bunch of cheap dresses, dirty wigs, whole bunch of liberal females that ain't got their ends cut on their hair, man. It's looking messy, man. Every time I see you Democrats, man, y'all don't know how to color coordinate. Your suits ain't fitted. Your dresses look like they came out of the thrift store. And it's like, now, Art, I ain't the richest fella. I ain't got too much money, but dang, I might be broke, but I take the toothbrush to my shoes and at least try to clean them up so when I come out, I look presentable.
Nice.
Y'all wish y'all's excuse. Y'all rich because y'all ain't been doing nothing but scamming the American people, and you got Jill Biden out there running around with that cheap old dress looking all crazy.
Who?
I mean, goddamn, Jill Biden, Joe Biden's wife.
Oh, Jill Biden.
Got that dang on cheap dress up there talking, Joe Biden up there talking all that communist scam artist stuff he talking about, don't even know what he talking about. She came out the crib with that old $5 dress that you can't even make change for, man.
Yeah.
I'm gone, hey, God bless you, man.
I appreciate it, Art. It is SOS band. Take your time.
Oh yeah, you got it. You right.
Nice. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
You later, buddy.
Good to hear from you.
God bless you. Hey, tell my Paul Jesse in the cast I'll catch y'all later, and we still rolling with Trump.
That's right. Appreciate that. Nice. Thank you, Art. And Chris says thanks as well. On behalf of the crew, we say thank you. You know, oh my gosh. Before I get back to calls, I do have T on the line. He wants to get on me about something that JLP says that I do happen to agree with. I was thinking, you know how Art always says we're still rolling with Trump? Nick says that's the only reason I allowed it. That's the only reason he allowed this to come through. Tease call. And I have your favorite caller, the audience's favorite caller is Zach from Columbus, Ohio on the line as well. Let me see, commies. Art made a couple of points. One about communists, and one about other stuff. About Trump and how we're still with Trump. And I was thinking, I think I might have been thinking over the weekend or Friday or something. I think it was Saturday morning. I was thinking, I wonder what Jesus was really like, you know? Because you hear all these people talking about, there's this John Fugelsang guy that I've talked about before. I've gotten into Twitter arguments with him before. I called into his show, I think March 10th. And He's a liberal guy who's been on the fallen state once before. He debated Jesse Lee Peterson along with a bunch of other rhinos and liberals. He's a liberal, so-called Christian, he thinks. And about Trump, that was at Politicon a few years back maybe. And all these people talk about Jesus, 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 including so-called conservatives too. And I was thinking, what was he really like? Or what is he really like? And I thought about how President Trump is. And how Trump is real. He's just real. He's honest. He's all about truth. For the most part. And how he's hated by the establishment, just as Jesus was. Did you notice that? He's hated by the establishment, just as Jesus was. He is betrayed. Trump is betrayed by people who were close to him. In many cases because they always had a different agenda, or they were about something else, worldly power and stuff like that. But also because many people were really for Trump and they really loved the nationalism, but then he wasn't what they thought that he was. He didn't do what they thought he could have or should have done. And in many cases, the things that they wish he had done, I wish too. I would love for him to have been able to do that. I don't know that he would have been able to. You know, complete the wall completely, or get rid of birthright citizenship, which is a fake thing by it's a perversion of the 14th Amendment, birthright citizenship. If you're born in this country, no matter what the circumstances, you're automatically an American. That's not the case. It's not really the case, but it's effectively, they're treating it as though it's the case. Anchor babies, considered Americans. We don't like that, and it's not even what was meant by the 14th Amendment, which let former slaves be Americans, right? And there's many things that we all wish that Trump had been able to do. But a lot of people turned on him, and same thing with Jesus. Like, most of his disciples left him because his teaching was too hard, or because they thought he was going to be a great conqueror and overthrow the Roman Empire. The globalists? Were the Roman empires the globalists? I don't know. And Rome, by the way, they lost track of what it meant to be Roman, and they collapsed. And they had all into entertainment, gladiators and all that madness, and spoiling the people, all kinds of unchecked immigration. The vandals came in and tore apart the place. Much like what's happening in America, seems like. Trump equals power is coward, says Joseph Gerlich. Trump never talked about BLM. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. He said, I think I could talk with these people. He's like, get them out of here. BLM, when BLM invaded his stuff. He called them a hate group, a hate symbol. My first introduction to them was them chanting, pigs in a blanket, fry them like bacon, meaning kill cops or hate cops or pretend that they were that they should be prosecuted for crimes they didn't commit. Yeah, he did talk about them, Joseph. What are you talking about, Joseph? Trump just played good cop. He was one of them the whole time, says the earth is flat. So you guys are saying stuff that you don't know to be the case, for sure. You're just assuming. It's what I'm talking about. They did the same to Jesus. Oh, he was one of them. You are possessed by a demon, they said to him. So that's interesting to me. Betrayed by many, loved by many, brought huge crowds. Jesus did too, as did Trump. Or does Trump. JLP also a good example. Real, honest, loving, showing actual love, and consistent. And Trump, despite getting rejected in this last election, by hook or by crook, we're thinking crook and hook, doing seemingly healthier than ever, is one report I heard. Healthier than ever. Not devolving into bitterness, Just even. Right on. And not a phony like that guy. What's that guy? Tim Scott. Reading and pretending that like he's real. Oh. Tim Scott, such a phony. That black rhino. Anomaly betrayed Trump too, says HydroPX. But cut these guys some slack. Cut these. I love Joseph and I love the Earth is flat guy. These are our friends. There's no need to get into this bickering stuff. That's just how I see Trump and what little I see of Jesus, I think. Jesus wouldn't need COVID treatment, says Mike Gibson. That's right, because he was 33 and healthy. Nice. Okay. So, right on. I'm with Trump too, Art. And one other thing that he said about communists. Communists have become mainstream. I put in a folder called Commies, but I want to play... Oh, I don't even think that I didn't even give it to you yet. I have not given you also... Let me see if I have it. I'm giving Chris this clip. It is a CIA recruitment video, purportedly, according to Twitter. And I think it's true. And this was floating around. Probably many of you have seen this. It's about 2 minutes long before I get back to calls and another Psalters song. This is a woman who is promoting herself as a valid CIA officer. And it is a POC woman, so-called POC woman. She looks like a white Hispanic to me. Anomaly knows what's up. Hake is lost in the narrative, says the earth is flat. Healthy? Trump is morbidly obese. What the? I was talking about Jesus. Okay, you have the clip. This is purportedly a CIA recruitment video, and it is this woman bragging about her accomplishments and bragging about her so-called identity. And this is the type of person that is being so-called celebrated in the Central Intelligence Agency. We once thought that the CIA and the FBI, by we, I mean I, as a little kid, used to think, oh, those guys are cool. They're like American spies. Well, here is some disillusionment for you, in case any of you were ever illusioned at all about this mess. Look at this.
When I was 17, I quoted Zora Neale Hurston's How It Feels to Be Colored Me in my college application essay. The line that spoke to me stated simply, I am not tragically colored. There is no sorrow dammed up in my soul nor lurking behind my eyes. I do not mind at all. At 17, I had no idea what life would bring, but Zora's sentiment articulated so beautifully how I felt as a daughter of immigrants then and now. Nothing about me was or is tragic. I am perfectly made. I can wax eloquent on complex legal issues in English while also belting Guayaquil de mis amores in Spanish.
Whoa.
I can change a diaper with one hand and console a crying toddler with the other. I am a woman of color. I am a mom. I am a cisgender millennial who's been diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder. I am intersectional, but my existence is not a box-checking exercise. I am a walking declaration, a woman whose inflection does not rise at the end of her sentences, suggesting that a question has been asked. I did not sneak into CIA. My employment was not and is not the result of a fluke or slip through the cracks. I earned my way in, and I earned my way up the ranks of this organization. I am educated, qualified, and competent, and sometimes I struggle. I struggle feeling like I could do more, be more to my two sons, and I struggle leaving the office when I feel there's so much more to do. I used to struggle with imposter syndrome, but at 36, I refuse to internalize misguided patriarchal ideas of what a woman can or should be. I am tired of feeling like I'm supposed to apologize for the space I occupy rather than intoxicate people with my effort, my brilliance. I am proud of me. Full stop.
Courage.
My parents left everything they knew and loved to expose me to opportunities they never had. Because of them, I stand here today a proud first-generation Latina and officer at CIA. I am unapologetically me. I want you to be unapologetically you, whoever you are. Know your worth. Command your space.
Crazy, huh? Cringe. Isn't that terrible? That's why I call it so-called intelligence agencies. The so-called intelligence community. Central so-called intelligence agency. That's not intelligent, nothing that she said. And that is a supposedly CIA recruitment video, according to what people are saying. And I have reaction from both the supposed right and from the left. This guy, Richard Hanania, seems like an okay guy. Said this CIA recruitment video would be a little too much for a Chicana, Latinx studies department. A collection of every campus buzzword in 2 minutes. Yeah, I would say so. No wonder they wanted the last administration gone. Now they can be themselves. Yeah. That's what Richard Hanania says. I think he's a journalist type of a guy. And you can tell by everything that she was saying, insecure. And she's bragging about having a mental illness. Hope she doesn't get to have a gun. Well, I don't know. I don't want to be mean. I don't want to contribute to the idea that mentally ill people should not have guns. Because they call everybody mentally ill. They call our great veterans mentally ill and then take away their guns. Our great line of defense against evil, in many cases, the veterans. And this guy says, I like the part about not engaging in uptalk. I don't know what that means. This was written by a young person who really paid attention in college. And he goes on and says, soon after the 9/11 American Dad debuted. Remember that cartoon, that degenerate cartoon in the vein of Family Guy? Another degenerate cartoon? Sometimes funny, but degenerate and liberal. About a CIA agent who was supposed to be representative of his profession, a Fox News watching Bush supporter. As the series progressed, the stereotype became out of date and the political angle of the show has been completely dropped. That's right, because most of the so-called intelligence community are a bunch of liberals, Hillary supporters, Obama holdovers, and worse. CIA, April 28th, shared, according to this guy, Richard Hanania, I am unapologetically me. I want you to be unapologetically you. No matter who you are, whoever you are, unless you're white, male, Christian. Cis. Whether you work at CIA, hashtag, or anywhere else in the world, command your space. Mija, you are worth it. And her t-shirt had a picture of the female sign, right? With a circle with the cross hanging down. That's a female thing. Leave Family Guy alone, says Peter R. I like them. But, I mean, they've gotten more and more cringy. Did you know that they still exist to this day almost, maybe? Hake Report is where the kids can swear and smoke cigarettes. Whoa, that's not true.
To this day.
Yes, to this day. And inside of that woman symbol, the circle with the cross down, the upside down cross, because women are anti-Christian, anti-Christ. Nah, I'm playing. But inside of that, it has a communist raised a clenched fist. The Black Power, socialism, communism fist. Antifa fist, anti-America fist. And she's wearing that in her high heels. A mother, purportedly, somebody said that she's a single mother, by the way, wearing a communist t-shirt, being promoted. But it's funny. You go to the actual communists, and they are not happy. They never are. They really never are. This woman, I'm assuming this is a woman, named Zei_Squirrel, ZEI_Squirrel. tweeted out, "This is a video made by the CIA as part of their recruitment drive. Look at the language used and the t-shirt she's wearing, a literal raised fist. You can't," oops, I forgot to black out the cuss words. "Cover your eyes, children. You can't make this blank up. They are co-opting what was supposed to be an emancipatory language to enact mass murder and torture, because they think that the CIA is all about mass murder and torture. They don't realize that the CIA are communists just like them. And no doubt that this communist who tweeted this out is pro-abortion and mass murder and torture. Haha, she literally says, "I am intersectional. Oh my gosh, what the blank. Ha ha ha, they are doing this." And it has a bunch of pictures of females, a pyramid of females. Hillary Clinton, Condoleezza Rice, Michelle, and all these people. That video is literally killing me, holy blank. The actual CIA posting that is too much. I noted in the thread below, this woman says, purportedly a woman, Bell Hooks was right. Bell Hooks is a liberal black female, if you're not familiar, who is so arrogant and thinks she's so special that she spells her name with no capital letters. Bell, B-E-L-L, all lowercase, Hooks, all lowercase, H-O-O-K-S, a black female, radical. I don't know if she's still alive. I saw her in a video with that evil, disgusting professor, Melissa Harris Perry, formerly of MSLSD, MSDNC, Bell Hooks. She appeared alongside Melissa Harris Perry, MHP, a light-skinned black radical female. And they were doing some presentation at a college campus about female black victimhood and single mother mass and all that stuff. But Bell Hooks said, "When the concepts that were intended to be emancipatory have been successfully co-opted, it's time to discard them." By co-opted, they mean accepted by the mainstream, such as the CIA. The mainstream is communist now. And by emancipatory, they mean meant to free you up, right? Fake things like intersectional, fake things like I am a person of color. The insanity pyramid, says Ned Pepper. Yeah. It's time to discard them, meaning keep on pushing even further off the deep end. Because the CIA is already off the deep end with them, and now they want to go even further off the deep end. And again, I apologize for all the cussing this woman is doing. I'm assuming it's a woman. Who else would have a squirrel as a cartoon squirrel as their thing? For a more detailed discussion of this phenomenon using the case study of what was done to Ilhan Omar, though it can be extended to the deranged witch hunt against Corbyn in the UK and Bernie in the US as well. See this thread, and they talk about Ilhan Omar being the subject of a racist smear campaign ignited by Chelsea Clinton and right-wing hacks. There were a bunch of leftists who went along with it, citing the lived experiences and feelings of hurt of some vague amorphous mass. They didn't sit well with this woman, this communist woman. This woman is a nutcase. Never happy. The CIA is on their side, literally on their side, against America, against whites, against men. This woman on the CIA called out fake patriarchy. She's all, "Oh, I'm not going to subject myself to, at 36 years old." Man, it's cringy as heck. Of course, this is nothing new, as Bell Hooks mentioned in the aforementioned quote. It will happen to any concept and vocabulary in a culture of domination. Capitalism. In other words, capitalism. Because they hate freedom and they hate morality. But they love capitalism. They're liars. Because they love to exploit capitalism mixed with immorality. Because immorality, quite popular. It sells. With an immoral culture. That's why some of you guys reject capitalism even. We need nationalist socialism. Crazy, huh? This short, and she cites this short essay, and it's a bunch of mess. Anyway, guys, I'm going to get back to calls shortly here. We are at the top of the second hour going into it. It's 10:01 right now. I have another song for you. Oh, but this one is short. It's about 90 seconds long. Maybe easier to listen to than the last one, although I personally really liked Scarf Dance. So, yeah, this is going to be pretty short. You think we can get there and get out and back inside of it? Okay. Enjoy. This is another song from Psalters. It's called Agnus Dei, or Agnus Dei. And it is in Latin, I'm assuming. It's an old Christian song. So enjoy Agnus Dei from Psalters, and we'll be right back in less than a couple of minutes. Enjoy.
Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis. Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, miserere nobis. Agnus Dei, qui tollis peccata mundi, dona nobis pace.
And we're back, guys. That was Agnus Dei by the Psalters. I think that woman is Persian. The woman who sang it. It means, Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world, have mercy on us. Agnus Dei qui tollis peccata mundi. That means, Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world, have mercy. Miserere nubis, have mercy on us. Lamb of God who takes away the sins of the world, grant us peace. Isn't that nice? Yes, that is a Christian song. Very peaceful, says Absolute Death. This is lovely, says Donning Armor. I agree. What is this? This is Psalters. That was Psalters. Pagan blood ritual. Whoa. Slam Free Poetry says. So yeah, that was from Psalters. Their album is the Divine Liturgy of the Wretched Exiles. And it seems like they might have been like hippies, sort of anti-American Americans maybe. I'm not sure. Maybe they're foreigners. But I like some of their Christian music. Hake, play Gregorian chants next time. Oh, I like that Gregorian chant. I heard it. I've only ever heard it inside of that Jars of Clay song, that Christian band. Bunch of liberals. Thank you for the tip, Herb Jerry. I have screenshotted your suggestion. So, I have some calls to get to. Hake is doing this on purpose with the music, says Rob Nunes. Oh, to be as peaceful as a lamb again, says Jim Justice. I could see me playing that song at a trailer park party. I'd be kicked out before I knew it. Cringe, 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 says Skip McBurney. And by the way, you know, I modded Skip, our friend Skip, my friend and yours. I saw this YouTube comment from my Friday show from Spock Holodoc, who said, and I couldn't help but to like this comment. In fact, I loved it. I hearted it. Spock Holodoc says, "Shut up, Skip. You wouldn't know good music even if you could play something other than a harmonica. Punk." Jars of clay are not Christian. I totally agree, Watchman, for you. But yes, that's what Spock Holodoc says. But you don't have to shut up, Skip. And you're not exactly a punk. You're not a punk. You may be a snake, but you're not a punk. And you're a friend. Nice. No, I like your feedback, Skip. Okay, let me get to T in Alabama. Speaking of snakes, harmonicas and banjos are based, says Turtle No Neck. I like harmonicas, banjos. What are those things called? Jew's harp or jaw harp? I don't know. Maybe I don't want to get into that too much right now. Let me quickly get to T in Alabama, though. T, how are you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. How about yourself?
Doing fine, thank you.
All right, let me just get straight to my point. First of all, let me say this, man. Art from Ohio sounds like a straight-out idiot, okay? You sound like you got a little man crush when you call on the show and want to sing a song that you made for your show. So
an idiot for Christ.
Throw that out to him.
An idiot for Christ.
I ain't got no... I can't spell Christ, man, okay? So don't even...
Doesn't matter. You don't have to spell Christ to be a Christian.
Yeah. But anyway, hey, man, look, I don't want to get off on another rant with you. But anyway, man, first of all...
I got your back, Art.
I see that you're comparing Trump, and I'm going to get to the reason I call, to Jesus Christ. So Trump is like Jesus now, right?
Yeah, he's real. He's about truth. He's loving, just as Christ is.
Okay.
And he's hated by many, hated by the establishment, betrayed by many, loved by many, attracts thousands, tens of thousands, and awakens people. People became a Christian because of Jesus, many of them,
Trump
and because of Trump.
Like
so nice.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, so Trump, the reason a lot of folks came to Jesus.
Yeah.
They converted to.
You ever heard of Nick, the anchor baby?
Oh, so Trump, the reason why he went over?
Yeah.
Okay, it wasn't because of, Jesse.
The evil, hateful attack on President Trump showed him that evil was real. And when you realize evil is real, God must be real too.
Let me get to my question.
All right.
Let me get to my question. All right. Yeah, I'm filibustered too much, man. Let me get to my question.
Filibuster.
Yeah, you say that women have no love, right?
JLP says it. I concur. I concur.
I mean, he taught you, right? Because, yeah. And also, let's see, women have no love, and you got to go through your earthly father to get to God. I just want to ask you a question.
If you get too into this anti-JLP mess, I'm going to have to let you go because you're
this is about
like
you,
a snake.
No.
You got all right.
Hey, this is about you. I'm asking you, man. Okay? I'm asking you because you believe in this.
Right.
So I'm asking you. This ain't got nothing to do with GALP.
Well, it does, but okay.
You. Okay. But so I just want to ask you the question.
All right.
Where is that written in the Bible?
Where is what written in the Bible?
Women have no love, and you got to go through your earthly father in order to get to God.
Okay. Let me answer. The best of my ability, off the top of my head. When it's talking about marriage, the Apostle Paul. You like the Apostle Paul?
All right, go to it, James. Keep going, man.
The Apostle Paul said, "Husbands, love your wives." And it says to wives, respect your husbands. Because the men have the love from God. The women have only respect that they can give. So that's that for the Bible. Knock that one out of the park.
Okay. Let me ask you a quick question.
And let me answer your other part. No, you asked me. Okay. Let me answer the other part. You said about one of the 10 Commandments says, honor your father and mother. If you don't love your father, you don't honor your father, and then you're separated from God.
Okay.
Boom.
So,
Bam.
oh yeah. Oh, that's it. So that's the way you get to God. Is you got to honor your. Now, what about the mother? You ain't got to honor the mother.
Honor your father and mother.
Honor your mother.
Yeah.
All right. So why is it just the father you got to go through?
It didn't say. It also says forgive your mother. JLP says forgive your mother.
But it don't say. But it doesn't
That's
say
how you
you
honor
got to
her.
go through them, though, James. Come on, man.
Come on,
Does
man.
it say? I thought Christ. You had to believe in Christ, James. So
If you believe in Christ, then you will honor.
No.
If you
Well, I mean, but
if you love me, you will. Jesus said.
James.
Jesus said, "If you love me, you will keep my commandments." Boom.
James. Y'all have totally
One,
took
two,
Jesus
three.
out the equation.
That's what I.
Right?
That's what I spiritually did to T just now.
Man, come on, be serious.
I'm answering your questions biblically, and you still reject it.
No, you're not. You sounding crazy as heck. all right?
Okay.
I'm not going to curse you. You
Takes
sound
one to
crazy
know one.
as heck. You know, it sounds straight out ridiculous.
Crazy for Jesus.
You know, James, be real, man. I'm going to tell you one thing. This is my opinion.
T
okay?
doesn't
First of all,
realize
it
he's
doesn't
arguing
say
with an
anything.
ex-Bible thumper.
Yeah, you need to get back into the Bible, my brother.
All right.
You know, you need, okay?
Am
You
I
need
your
to get right
brother?
into
Am
it.
I your brother in blackness? Your brother in Christ, or your brother in Satan?
No, you're my brother as far as one of God's creations. Man.
Oh, nice.
Okay. All right.
Thank you.
So that's my point on that. But I think as far as what you guys do on this show, and I'm just giving my opinion, y'all spread a lot of hatred. I'm gonna tell you how your mother has love for you, James. Okay.
Okay.
When y'all say women don't have love, all right. For one thing, the main thing is that you're here on Earth, right? You're
Right.
here breathing and talking. She didn't have somebody put a needle in the stomach and abort your butt.
Right.
Okay.
She would have aborted more than my butt.
For y'all to constantly preach this hatred for your parents, well, not the parents, but the mother. Like the mother
But
is
he's
the
preaching
evil
love for the
of
mother.
world.
He's
No,
preaching
you're
love
not.
for the mother.
You're preaching hatred.
Is forgiveness.
Hatred, man.
Is forgiveness love or hate, T?
Okay.
Is forgiveness love or hate?
So what?
When you apologize for hating, is that love or hate?
It's forgiveness. That's
Thank
all
you.
it is.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
It's
you.
forgiveness.
So that's not hatred
right.
for the mothers. T, I
It's
gotta
not
run,
love
man.
for it either.
You're trying to get at Jesse through me,
No,
and
I'm
it's not
trying to
gonna
get
work.
to you, man, because like I said, you use that same philosophy.
Right?
man.
Yeah.
You use that same stupidity
Thank you.
and so forth. So this is about you. This ain't about Jesse. I could give a damn
Well,
about Jesse.
whoa, keep it clean, buddy. You don't have to
Okay,
cuss.
all
I
right.
thought you.
Well, anyway.
Are you a Christian?
Yes, I am.
Do you love JLP?
Okay, yeah, I love him.
All right, then how come you
But
say?
do I love what he
This
believes
mess.
in, his teaching?
I gotta go.
What, and so forth?
I
No,
answered your
hate that.
questions. I answered your questions, buddy. We'll talk again. Have a good one.
Later.
See ya. Very nice. I got some super chats to read, and then I have Zach in Columbus, Ohio, and more, and more, and on and on and on. Some crazy stuff going on in the world. Some little ethnic child gave a couple of super chats on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. Shout out some little ethnic child. I have a guest suggestion for your show. Thank you. I am looking for more guests. Hope you enjoyed my Jeff Charles guest from last week, whom I also had on the show June of last year. The black victimhood guy who thinks that racism is real and that blacks are the primary victims of it. He's all, blacks are the primary victims of hate crimes. Ridiculous. Some little ethnic child gave us streamlabs.com/The Hake Report super chat. Where shall I send my guest suggestion? The Hake Report at gmail.com. Probably the best way. The Hake Report at gmail.com. That's my suggestion. And thank you, some little ethnic child, who also gave a super chat on streamlabs.com/The Hake Report. What in the world? Reacting to this CIA promotional video of this Latina or Latinx woman, a mother who has small, tiny children, a baby whose mess that she changes with one hand, diaper, and then comforts her toddler with the other and then she's still trying to go to the CIA and play like she's earned her way, like she's not propped up, and like she belongs there. Nope. With her hoop earrings and communist black t-shirt. What in the world is imposter syndrome? She saw, I once suffered, this woman who's on the CIA promotional video said, I once suffered from imposter syndrome, but at 36, I no longer succumb to the patriarchal mess, blah, blah, blah. In other words, she hates the founding fathers. She hates her own father. She hates men. She hates everybody. Communist. Another word for communist, loving lies, right? Imposter syndrome is when you achieve something and you don't feel that you really belong there. You don't feel that you are worthy of that position. You feel you're a fake. You feel that it's not earned. She had that. I think that's what imposter syndrome means without looking it up. I don't think I'm going to bother looking it up right now. But that's what it means. She's an imposter. She doesn't belong there. She's somewhere she doesn't belong. She knows it, but now at 36, she's gone into full denial. Except that she still has anxiety in her body and her spirit. So, that's what imposter syndrome is. There was so much that she said it's hard to even keep up and debunk all her mess, right? Of course, 36. Chris Anderson says, Hake, I wish you could have corrected that last caller better. He thinks he won, quote unquote. I mean, you're not going to stop a person, especially a black, from acting like they didn't win. Especially a black. I'm talking about when you argue with them about all these like the racism stuff, the statistics and all that stuff. They do not care. They know that it will get under your skin if they just steamroll in denial of the relevant facts that you're presenting against the irrelevant facts that they present, or sometimes outright lies. They bring in irrelevant facts, such as white-on-white crime is most of white crime too. Black-on-black crime is most of black crime. Therefore, black-on-black crime is not a real thing. It's not a real problem. Just outright denying the mass casualties done by themselves against their own. What a mess. Typical degenerate type of a black. Ignorant, as Trump Support 2021 says. Yeah. So, you can only do so much Bible thumping. That's why I really enjoy hearing J.C. Lee Peterson talk to these people rather than me, because I'm more like intellectual, and that stuff is just shallow. It doesn't really get through to people for the most part, because they're not open to it, for one, and it doesn't get to the root of the issue, because what we're doing is surface level, just the intellect. Intellectual arguments don't convince anybody, as you know. Hey, weak beta males go looking for love from women and they don't have it to give. That's what JLP meant by that. Women can have love when they return to the Father. I know, but he was asking where in the Bible is it? But yeah, that's in the Bible too. They talk about in, I think, 1 Corinthians or something like that. In there, it says the man and the woman, it's better for the man and the woman not to be married if they can help it. Although it's fine for them to be married too. It's good to be married too. But it's good if they're not married to just stay that way, because a married man is concerned about his wife and how to please her, and the wife is concerned about her husband and how to please him, but the single man or woman is concerned more about the things of God and how to please God. That's how it goes so frequently. Tell Zach to get a hobby, Hake. Blank, says Brandon M. I got to get to Zach in Columbus, Ohio. Thank you, Brandon M, for the reminder to please get to Zach. Zach in Columbus, Ohio. I think Brandon M is a fan of yours.
Yes. Brandon M, I want to say I have a hobby. I run track and cross country.
Nice. You sound like you do. Right on.
Yeah.
What's your fastest 3 mile right now?
My fastest 3 mile was 16:54.
Not bad, not bad.
Yeah, I'm trying to get it down. Get a little bit more work in during this track season.
You ever travel out of state?
Yeah,
that?
in the summer I do. I run AAU. So
What's AIU?
AAU is like a elite track team, I guess you would call it.
Okay, extracurricular.
Like only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And how about what do you do in track? What events?
I do the 800 and the mile.
Nice. What's your 800 time?
My 800 time is a 1:52.
Man, that's flying.
Yeah,
You can tell that you got some black in you. That is flying, man. That's cool. Sub 2.
Yeah.
And then what's your mile? You said 800 in a mile? Or 1,600?
Yeah, 800 in the mile. Well, the 1,600 is the mile.
Yeah. What is that? What is your time for that?
That's like a 4:30.
Wow. You are fast for those shorter distances.
And that's not even the best. I'm like the 4th best at my school.
Wow.
There's people run like 4:19.
Man, that's awesome, man. That's cool.
Yeah.
And you are going to be a senior.
Yep.
That's cool. That's exciting, man. There's no reason that you shouldn't be closer to 16 flat very soon for the 3 mile.
Oh yeah, I hope so.
Yeah.
Like I said, get some work in the off season.
Yeah.
And try to get down.
Be patient with yourself. Don't overtrain, but don't undertrain either. Nice.
Yeah.
Right on, man. That's cool to hear.
Yeah. Well, first I want to say that T from Alabama is just, I don't even know. He's worse than Maze and Earl.
Yeah, he has a sort of a nasty spirit, more so than Maze and Earl. At least it's outwardly nastier. But I still like him.
Yeah. He's nice.
I don't know if he's even nice, but he can be nice at times.
Yeah. But the real reason I called is, well, I had two. First, have you heard of the Burger King man?
Not recently. Not anything special.
You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
I do not.
So, they call him the Burger King man because he got on a plane, and he's like the king of TikTok right now. He got on a plane and had a Burger King hat, and he was an older guy.
Oh, you're talking about the guy who screamed out the N-word.
Yeah. He was like, kick that N-word, B-word off the plane.
Right. Yeah, that was some months ago. Okay.
Yeah, an amazing guy.
Out of Jamaica, right? Didn't he go to Jamaica or something?
Yeah, something like that.
To like pick up a woman that he was trying to date or something like that? I forget what it was.
Yeah, I have no idea. But he's still all over TikTok. He's the king. But that's just something I saw earlier. And the reason I called was because I'm scrolling on TikTok and I see the Fallen Messiah on my For You page. And this is a verified account with like 1 million followers.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. So I listened to what he's saying, and he's like, I urge the youth 16 and up. Even though I got the vaccine, he's like, I urge the youth 16 and up to get the vaccine. It'll save grandparents, and we'll be able to get back to regular life. And I was like, this dude's a joke. And people are in the comments like, he's such a nice, intelligent man and so smart.
Yeah.
And Michelle Obama is amazing. And I'm like, this is disgusting.
Yeah, that is. And why there's this pretense that you're supposed to be hanging around your grandparents all close and hugging them all the time. I used to go to one of my grandparents' house, my grandma and grandpa on my mother's side. We would go swimming. She would sometimes order pizza, Little Caesars pizza. And we would have grilled cheese sandwiches or whatever and watch TV and play video games and have fun. But I don't remember ever getting like real close with either of them to hug them or anything. Like we were at a distance and we probably never would have exposed our germs to them. Not that it was intentional like that, but you don't really have to be, and you don't even really have to be hanging around them like that at all, really. Some recommend you not. JLP says keep them away.
Yep.
Which might be wise.
Black and you live with your grandparents.
True. Yeah, that's true. And their solution is not to bring back the family or fathers. Man, it's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. It's kind of sad.
Yeah.
It's sad to see the black community falling. And then the people called Jesse a coon and everything. Am I not allowed to say that?
I think it's okay to say that. Yeah, you're fine.
Oh, okay, I'll say the C word.
That sounds worse.
And Uncle Tom.
Right.
And you know, it's sad. Like Candace Owens, too. It's sad to see that she's getting hate, as well. They're trying to fix the community.
Yeah, that's true. They hate anybody who says anything resembling the truth. It doesn't even have to be the whole truth that they're telling. They take out everybody. They're trying to call Elon Musk controversial. I saw some Twitter headline from the New York Post of pretty far left. Sometimes they say some true things. Sort of a sleazy outlet, New York Post is at times, but they put out some good information at times. But they tweeted out this headline, the SNL cast, Saturday Night Live, those bunch of lame comedians. They are not going to be forced to appear with controversial figure Elon Musk. I'm like shrugging my shoulders. I didn't even click on the article because it felt too like clickbaity. But for some reason, Elon Musk is controversial to them. Never mind that they support all these evil people and they hate everybody good. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, like that video, I don't think anybody pointed out. There was a black fist and then there was an upside down cross.
Yeah, that's actually part of the female symbol. That's what that means. It's a circle with the upside down cross. That's the female symbol, believe it or not. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, the male symbol, it has a circle. I think it has a circle, and then it has an arrow pointing up into one side, right? The female symbol has an upside down cross. I don't know what that's. It's not meant to be like an upside down Antichrist cross, I don't think, but it is kind of an interesting coincidence. That's why I joked around like...
If Black Lives Matter is using it, it is the Antichrist.
It really is, because it's propping up women in a way that they're not even going to be ever happy propped up in that way. This woman power is basically what it's saying. Women power.
Yep.
Get rid of patriarchy, communism, socialism. And that spells misery for all these people who are put into positions they didn't deserve and don't belong in. And she can feel it because she had imposter syndrome and anxiety.
And modern day feminists are ruining America. They think they're better than men.
Right. And the simps who are cowering to them, even in spite of themselves, even when they know better.
Yep.
Bro,
all right, Hake.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you, Zach.
Nice talking to you.
You too. Take care.
All right.
Bruh, says Absolute Death. That's black for bro. Elon Musk, which bro, I think we might have stolen from the blacks too, like 30 years after, or 40 years. Anyway. Bruh, Elon Musk wants to nuke Mars. The dude is an idiot and he looks like Clayface. Clayface? A lean Clayface, the good-looking version of Clayface before he became Clayface from Batman the Animated Series. Wow. Represents Venus or vanity, says Vladimir Vendeas. I think that's what you're referring to with this female symbol. Huh. Zach must have taught Ahmaud Arbery how to jog. Whoa. Man, that's such a shame. It was tough to see Ahmaud Arbery, after he was shot, just go down like that. Brutal to see. But what was the man to do? That son of the retired detective to do when Ahmaud went after him with the shotgun? Maybe they weren't supposed to follow him in the first place, but it seems like it's arguable that it was a valid attempt at a citizen's arrest. I don't know, but now they're charged with hate crimes. So, before I get back to calls, I got to tell you about the sleazy FBI. Speaking of the so-called intelligence agencies, The FBI, according to Rudy Giuliani, who has been a liberal a lot, but he's generally, I think of him as being pro-America. He was the New York City mayor during 9/11, 2001. I heard that there was a different 9/11 that took place that was way down in like South America or something. Bombed out the leader of some group and took over. What a mess. But Rudy Giuliani supported Trump, Trump's personal lawyer. He says that the FBI, that's the Federal Bureau of Investigation, right? Spied on him and Trump's iCloud communications. iCloud is what stores your text messages if you have an iPhone and all that stuff, if you turn on your iCloud, right? Your emails, your other pictures, other things, documents. There's a picture of Rudy in a car. The paparazzi's taking his picture. And he says, "Get in the car, punk." No, I'm kidding. The FBI spied on him and Trump during when Trump was president. Did they have a warrant? Shady. Shady, shady, shady. And you know what else? The far left outlets, and they spied at him during the fake impeachment push of President Trump. The first one, I guess it was, in 2019, when after Trump had gotten on that call with Volodymyr Zelensky or something like that, the Ukrainian president, and said, you need to look into Biden's mess, the Burisma mess, because Joe Biden's son has a shady relationship with this organization, and Joe Biden said, you better fire that prosecutor or whatever who was looking into Burisma. Burisma being like a big oil company based over there, right? And they were paying this guy tens of thousands of dollars or $10,000 like a month or something like that to be on their board. Hunter Biden, where's Hunter? Shady, very shady. I mean, it's really the least of our worries, honestly. These people don't even belong really in America, much less in our fake leadership. Joe Biden, I'm talking about, or his so-called family, messed up family. But some concerned intelligence official went to Adam Schiff's office and whistleblowed. I want to whistleblow against Trump, a Trump hater. These are a bunch of liberals. So then the New York Times, Slimes, I should say, the Washington Compost, and NBC, N is for not American, BC because they're communists, retracted reports that Giuliani was told by FBI about Russia supposedly trying to target him for an influence campaign behind his back, underneath, secretly influence him, right? The liberal establishment media incorrectly stated that Giuliani was directly warned by the FBI that he was targeted by a Russian intelligence influence operation. And they got some anonymous source to say that. And that then another source later, so they reported it as true, as though it was true, not knowing anything. And that source may have assumed, ASSUME, that it was the case that they had briefed him. But a different source said that they prepped a brief, the FBI did, a bunch of liberals. They prepared a brief for Giuliani, but never gave it to him because they were concerned it might interrupt a so-called criminal investigation into him. I almost called Rudy Giuliani sleazy. Is he sleazy? I don't know. Compared to these people? I don't buy it. A brief is a letting you know. Hey, look out. The Russian intelligence is trying to influence you. No, they didn't tell him because they're trying to get him on a fake bunch of liberals trying to get the guy who's a pro-Trump guy and a pretty powerful guy, influential guy, trying to get him on crimes, criminal investigation. Meanwhile, they let all the illegals in. It's a mess. It is crazy. You heard about the people who were drowning yesterday on Sunday? The illegal aliens? Mexicans. I heard that it wasn't Mexicans mostly who were coming across the border, that it was Central and South Americans. Nope. It is Mexicans too. Coming in by hook or by crook, by land or by sea or by air, or by overstayed visa. They claim, we don't need a wall because most of the illegals here in the country are overstayed visas. Therefore, we don't need a wall, even though there's a whole huge, by the thousands they're coming in. Every day, 1,000 come in, supposedly. Uncaught. That's their estimate. Those are the ones that may have been caught on surveillance, but the Border Patrol couldn't catch them. They got through, and they got away. 1,000 every day. Not to mention the thousands who they catch. In some cases, over 100,000 in a month. In February, they caught over 101,000 in 1 month. Caught. And then in March, something like over 170,000 illegals caught. And then we can't just turn them around and send them back. We have to go through the rigmarole. And the Supreme Court's even stopping us from returning them. Crazy. At least 3 dead is the headline from the Epic Times. And 27 injured after suspected human, quote-unquote, smuggling boat capsizes near San Diego, according to officials. I told you about this in Hake News. And look at all these resources. A huge, awesome-looking chopper. And huge rescue teams. And do we get paid for that? Should we charge Mexico for that? You know when the cops get called to your house and you have to pay if it's a false alarm? And meanwhile, these people are getting all this free treatment. Two of them were arrested. Oh no, I don't even know if 2 were arrested in this case. 4 dead, 25 injured, or 3 dead, 27 injured. Basically, probably 4 plus dead now. After a boat capsized. They called it it's basically a skiff. Suspected smuggling boat capsized. And last week, on Thursday, they caught a different boat that had 21 people, mostly men, a few women. And 2 of them, they figured, all of them were Mexicans. All of them were actual Mexicans. I'm not talking about the Mexicans from Guatemala. I'm making fun a little bit. Actual Mexican nationals who had no legal right to come in here, trying to sneak in. And then 2 of them are charged with the federal crimes. Why not all of them, honestly? Yeah, the ones who are trying to smuggle them in, we gotta especially go after them, but also go after the ones who are being snuck in. Oh, it's just desperation. They're guilty. They're victims. They are guilty. They're victims. And you hear this from the fake Biden administration. He's saying stuff like, by the way, it's not Biden's fault that these people are surging across the border, this Ron Klain guy, the chief of staff from the White House. It's because of horrible conditions in El Salvador, Guatemala, and Honduras. And Mexico, or what? I know Mexico is in pretty bad shape, too, because they're run by the cartels. Anyway, that's a huge mess. And they're pretending, we want to get these children reunited with family members here in the United States. That's not good. They become CIA directors with hoop earrings and hating men and patriarchy, which is the best thing for them. That would solve their anxiety. Anyway, let me get to Joe in Florida. He wants to comment on this term, Latinx, which is a LGBTQ version, IA version of Latino, which means Hispanic. What's up, Joe in Florida? How are you?
Hey, James. What's going on, man?
Not much.
Hey, I just wanted to say before I got to that comment that just last week I got my golden VIP ticket for the Mints conference.
Wow.
I'm over the moon. I'm super excited, man. Just hope the Lord keeps me alive until August 14th because I can't wait to get there.
Nice, man. Well, appreciate your support on behalf of everybody at Bond. That's cool.
Yeah, not at all. So I was hearing you say Latinx today on the show or whatever, and just like how Jesse categorically refused the African American thing. See, like I'm old enough to remember when that kind of came about, and I think it was sort of like Jesse Jackson that kind of ushered that in.
Yeah.
So I just kind of wanted to, like in a
Jesse
kind
Jackson
way,
brought in African American, right?
Yeah.
That's what Jesse Lee Peterson said.
Yeah, and I'm old enough to remember that, so that's why I kind of want to kindly ask to even like nip it in the bud now. You know, I'm Hispanic.
Yeah.
We do not want to be drug into that mess. We categorically reject it. I don't even want to like hear it. Forget about it. We don't want anything to do with that whatsoever.
Nice. Yeah, it's Latino. Because
well, whatever. I mean, if it has to be,
if it has to be Latin
else,
something.
One thing we don't want it to be is that victimhood. Come with us. Say you're part of us. No, we are not part of you. Ordinary Hispanics do stand for what is right and want to just be part of normal society.
Yep.
And you can and that's the first step of kind of just like with the African American thing. That was the first step of kind of pulling that all one mentality. No.
Yeah.
We categorically reject that. And you know, I just wanted to kindly ask, even if it's in the headline or whatever, if maybe you could just be like, boop, or something, because if you get, give it life,
that's a fair point.
Know, a little snowball turns into a boulder and then forget about it, right? So I just wanted to put out there to all, you know, and I'm sure if you ask Daniel, if you ask Nick, they wouldn't be down with that or anything like that either. So nothing, zero, zip.
Yeah.
Forget about it. All right, man. That's all I had.
I appreciate that, Joe. It's
cool,
good to hear
man.
from
Thanks
you.
a lot for taking my call. All right, buddy.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
You know, I think that's partly the way that they get their points across, because they introduce the stuff that sounds ridiculous. It goes viral. And so people get used to the idea, and then they won't resist it as hard the next time they hear it. And you just break down their defenses. That's why you hear all about this critical race theory stuff. It gets trending. It starts to trend because people are outraged about it, and then their defenses gradually go down because now we're actually debating whether to have critical race theory or not. It's not even up for debate. Same thing with this Latinx thing. Fake. That's homosexual, and that's against the person who is dealing with that perversion inside of themselves. They're lost, and that's misery for them. You know, these fake communists, too. I mean, these communists, the communists, they talk about, how Jesus drove out the money changers from the temple, right? And they pretend that that's what, Jesus was a rioter. They say, Antifa, Black Lives Matter, the communists who hate capitalism, Jesus was an anti-capitalist. He was a socialist. Not so. And they pretend, but the socialism and communism, those are atheistic. They're anti-Christian. They're specifically pro-Satan. They loved Lucifer, the first rebel. Sick people. Yeah, supposedly, according to some of these commies, the first 9/11 happened in, where are they saying it? Chile in 1973. When, I don't know, somebody bombed them and took over their government, supposedly. But that's a bunch of victim-minded stuff. They mix a little bit of the truth with the lies. JJ Money says, God is a capitalist. You respect, or you reap. I think he's saying you reap what you sow. But a moral one, with morals. Because there is no freedom without morality, as somebody said that John Adams said. Something along those lines. You have to be a Christian. Otherwise, it's not going to work. It'll be overtaken by evil. They also attack Elon Musk because he's South African. And he's a South African white, supposedly. What's up with these South Africans who would just betray their fellow South Africans? It's just a mess. All these celebrities. I heard, is it true that Tom Hardy was South African or is South African? I know that Charlize Theron, she's South African. And she had British. Tom Hardy's British? Yeah. Okay. One of those, I guess it's kind of like the American anti-American. Yeah, Charlize? Whatever. Evil person. A misguided, is she a single mother? Acting all tough. With 2 black children, I think. And one of them is like a boy that she's raising as a girl or something weird like that. Shameful. What a disgrace. And betraying the destruction of the South African people. South Africans are mostly British and Dutch. Yeah. Yeah, the Dutch came in there and started Cape Town. There were no blacks around. So they started that country. They founded that country. And built it great. And it was great for a lot of people. Lin Yan Chin says about this thing that this guy said about Latinx, that we should nip it in the bud and not even repeat it. Just bleep it out. And it is. It's honestly, maybe we should bleep it out. Kind of like we say blah, 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 blah. About these phony black victims. Lin Yan Chin says that repetitive exposure and acceptance of evil is the purpose and use of sarcasm. Owen Benjamin made me realize that, he says. Interesting. Yeah, that's what one of my friends said about some of these conservative Inc. type of people, Con Inc. type of people. They just get sarcastic about what's going on, and it only continues to get worse. Is it partly because of that it just breeds acceptance of it? Maybe so. Maybe so. That's interesting. Definitely have to be wary. Yeah, 172,000 illegals came across during the month of March. It's a national emergency, and it's been a national emergency for decades now. So therefore, it's no longer an emergency. We're just used to it. This is just normal. Just like the violence in our cities and the homelessness in our cities. Just used to it. Just used to it. It's not news for blacks to be murdered like crazy. Up to like 1998 levels, I've heard, reported by the great Vincent James, sharing numbers, official numbers, that are not disputed. Crime is up to 90s levels. And in the 90s, it was pretty bad. Pretty bad. That's approaching crack epidemic levels. Approaching it. Heading in that direction. It's so funny. Crime is going more and more out of control. And what are we doing? We're hamstringing and tying the cops' arms behind themselves so that they can't do no-knock warrants. No-knock warrants is what would have saved Breonna Taylor's life. I mean, blah, 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 blah's life. Wait, that's too many syllables. Blah, 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 blah's life. That woman whose so-called family got millions of dollars. And then a black conservative guy says, well, her case was complicated because this and this and this and this. And she didn't deserve to die just because she was ex-girlfriends with a drug dealer and allegedly helping that drug dealer. She got herself in that position. As one of the guys who came to the church with Jesse Lee Peterson pointed out. That was such a nice little conversation. In church with Jesse Lee Peterson yesterday, this Hispanic guy, I think, is the connection buffering for any of you guys? It seems okay for me on Periscope. Think it's fine. Getting decent bit rate, over 3,000, 30 frames per second. Some of you guys over on Twitch got disconnected. I wonder if Twitch is censoring. Could be. Let me know. Twitch.tv/The Hake Report. Where was I? Linya and Shin says, ask Skateboard White Chris to teach you the way to kickflip evil away. You ever do a kickflip, Skateboard White Chris?
Yeah, I used to be able to.
Wow.
I can't now.
Yeah, I used to have like an 80s skateboard, Adventure Man. And I had, the skids on it, the plastic skids on it. It only had a tail on one side. It wasn't double-tailed. And it was pretty heavy. And I could not ollie on it. I was in 4th grade or so, 5th grade, 3rd grade maybe. And I couldn't ollie.
That's mainly like a cruising,
right?
Kind of what would you call it? Like when you skate the bowls.
Yeah.
Kind of like in the model of like surfing.
Right. Yeah, it wasn't a longboard at all.
Right.
But it was a pretty fat. I want to say maybe this fat.
Right.
I still have it to this day.
It's not really meant for the street tricks though. It's more like hitting the bowls, like hitting the lips.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
True.
Yeah, I never had a board like that. I just had the, kind of standard modern street skater one.
The one with the two things?
Yeah.
I started seeing those once I got into like high school or right before that.
Right, because
I'm an old millennial.
80s, you're a proper 80s baby. I'm just at the very edge.
Nice. Yeah, so can you kickflip evil away though?
Oh, once you learn, you can't unlearn that.
Right. It's like riding a bike.
It's forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely, I can do that.
Nice. Thank you, Lin Yen Chin. That's a Trovo colorful chat from trovo.live/The Hake Report. F says hybrid human. So I don't know if anybody's having problems with the stream, but very nice. Very nice. Oh, I think I was talking about stream is fine everywhere else, says Nick. Thank you. Hold on to that 80s board, Hake. I unscrewed all of the big pads on it, so it's kind of torn up, and the nose is torn up because the nose had this thing, and then the back thing, I had a big chunky plastic bumper that didn't let me go fully up. I don't know. It was a mess. So, shameful. And you know what else the liberals do? Speaking of the left, longboard Hake. I had a friend. I was roommates with a buddy. At the end of college, the last 3 months of college, he was in charge of, anybody ever heard of Poncho Longboards? Poncho Longboard Company. He had a longboard, and they would make longboards, and then he would put his designs. He would paint cool pictures and put his designs on the bottom of those longboards. The longboards are the ones that are kind of bouncy and extra long, and you can just ride them forever on a street. Kind of fun. But the liberals always pretend that we've gone more right-wing, more and more right-wing. That's what they claim this neoliberalism is, or neoconservatism, is more and more right-wing. Oh, the center has gone way over to the right, when in reality, we've gone off the deep end towards evil. Whatever right or left is, we've gone towards evil. That's undeniable. And it's partly because they never stop pushing. And we always stop short. I can't believe this is real, but I saw a headline from our friends at Breitbart that claimed that black guy, Rhino, Tim Scott, claimed America is not racist. And so Joe Biden and Kamala Harris agreed and said, okay, yeah, we're not racist. We're just dealing with the leftover effects of racism. And this guy was seeming to say that that's progress. Excuse me, this is weak stuff. And they were gushing over Bruce Jenner, Breitbart was? I'm cringing. Men don't cringe, says Lin Yan Chin. Facts. Facts. Yeah, I mean, I heard that Bruce Jenner was not for the transgender kids, right? He's not for them doing all that mess.
And they'll say he's based because of that.
Based.
Oh, based.
Talk about low standards. Very low standards. Meanwhile, the communists are shooting for hell, straight for hell. Direct hit on hell is what they're shooting for. And they never stop shooting for hell. But we're shooting for heaven, and then we're shooting more and more for worldly. I say we, but the people who are just such low standards guys. The people who are supposedly fighting for what's right. I guess that's how it happens. Man. James almost cussed. No, I was going to say, I wasn't even thinking of a cuss word. I was going to say weak sauce, but that seems too cringy to repeat. But they pretend, I've heard that former guest on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, I brought it on and I almost got fired for it. Jokingly. So David Pacman, that guy, I think I heard him pretending that we've gone more to the right, so-called right. If by more to the right you mean like the government trying to handle everything, I guess. The communists hate Christians, conservative Christians, real Christians, or anybody resembling standing for what's right, even resembling it. That's why they hate Bruce Jenner, because he has a little bit of leftover, tiny glimmer of a little bit of logic. And that's why they say Bruce Jenner is alpha. Terrible. And they also pretend that you're not a real Christian because you're against abortion, but really you're just pro-birth. You're not pro-life. Because once the mother has the child, then they say, oh, you're bad for being a single mother, which is not a good thing to be a single mother. And it's not a good thing to subsidize that. But Tim Scott, he's for that. The rhino. He's for subsidizing single mothers, which is encouraging it. And no, we're for responsibility from the time that you get the child in your womb, meaning conception, through the child, from the time the child is born and is yours to take care of. Duh. But anyway, it's ridiculous. They're just exploiting the Christians and pretending that we want what's right. We want the best for the people. No, we don't. No, you don't. Typical. That's what they try to do, is they try to hold you to a standard, an imitation of the standard that they think that you're for, and keep you on your heels. The communist way to do that is to do that. Just make a mockery of morals. It's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, anything else? This has been the Hake Report. Last quick thing. There was some professor who rejected a student's view who said that cops are heroes. He took a leave of absence. That was an adjunct professor at Cypress College in California. 19-year-old student Brandon Ellis. He recorded it, actually. It was a Zoom class, right? Zoom. Because they're doing this distance learning thing. And it was published by the Daily Wire. They talked about it. The Daily Wire is Ben Shapiro's outlet. And he called cops heroes. And this guy's like, what, all cops? I personally know that there's a bunch of people who are brutalized by cops, and they get away with it. Many of them. Can he name a case? It's irrelevant. These guys are haters of the truth. But he's on leave. A leave of absence. It's ridiculous. Anyway, guys, this has been the Hake Report. TheHakeReport.com for my stuff. JesseLeePeterson.com for all things JLP. From there, you can get to Bond, which is RebuildingTheMan.com. Either of those websites, Jesse Lee Peterson or Bond, you can access the men's conference. If you're a male, if you're a female, don't even bother trying. I'm going to turn you away. You can come to church the next day. Church with Jesse Lee Peterson. I think JLP announced that it will be 10 a.m. Florida time. So normally church is at 11 Pacific time. Now it'll be 7 Pacific, which is 10 Eastern. Nice. That's cool. That's rebuildingtheman.com or jesseleepeterson.com. Make sure you catch the Church with Jesse Lee Peterson, the audio podcast. Has throwbacks and recent ones. Thanks, guys, and take care.
Wow.